All right, you guys, welcome back to video number 4 of our series, What Does It Cost to Build 8 brand new construction townhouses? So we're gonna dive deep today on budgeting and what is it actually at the end, what does it cost us to build these 8 townhouses?
So in the previous video, we talked about funding the project.
Yep.
And one big component of funding it and getting to the bank to approve your loan is what are your construction costs?
Yes.
This part, we're gonna talk about how do we get our construction costs, how do we budget for those?
Yeah.
The first thing, which is really key and pretty obvious, which is know your project.
Yes.
It sounds simple, but a lot of people come to me and they want me to bid something and they simply don't know their project.
Yeah.
So knowing your project means being specific with some written specifications.
Yeah.
When you go and talk to your general contractors, you want to be able to explain to them what you want in your project. And the architectural plans don't talk about everything, about the interior specifications or exterior specs on what type of products you're going to do. So you want to break those down by category. You want to know what your demo is, your excavation, your landscape, your roofing, your windows, your siding, cabinets, flooring, etc. There's lots of categories. You want to know each of those categories, what you need, and you want to be able to have those in writing so that when you go out to bid and budget for it, you've got the right bid and the right budget for the product you need. So knowing your comps is part of that. You can go in the area you're building, and by knowing your project, knowing what you want, whether it's rental or for sale, look at those different comps, see what the market is really wanting in that area.
Yeah.
Some markets are different than other markets. You might want to spend more money on products in certain areas and less in other areas.
Yep.
So you want to be mindful of that. And you want to be very specific in writing, again, when you go for this, because then you have something to reference. Once you get the bid back, you've got something to reference and hold them accountable to say, well, that number includes this, 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 and this.
What's your thoughts on this, Chris? I know a lot of people always, oh, I hear right now, it costs, $180 a square foot.
Yep.
Oh, I talked to 3 different builders and everybody's quoting me, $180 a square foot, $200 a square foot, $150 a square foot. What's your thoughts on when you hear people quoting square foot?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the next topic here is getting your bids means getting a true bid, not an off-the-cuff ballpark number or just some random number from a real estate agent or somebody that heard something the other day that it costs $250 or $275 or $200.
Right.
Many times they don't really know what is included in that number.
Yeah.
I find it humorous sometimes somebody will say that to me and say, I heard it was 230 bucks a foot. What I come back with, my number one question is, did that include sales tax? Most of the time, they don't even know the answer to that.
Yeah.
If you don't even know the number includes sales tax, you're missing 10% in Seattle.
Or
10%.
Yeah, 10%. Or does that include contingency?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Or does that include interest carry costs?
Yeah.
So there's so many things that adds up to dollar per square foot.
Yeah.
And this is why, folks, when you see people say, man, why is it when I talk to 4 different builders, everybody have a different dollar per square foot?
Right.
Because everybody don't include everything. Now, someone could be close when it comes down just to pure hard cost.
Yep.
It might be somewhere between 190, 195.
Right.
But it's all the other thing that someone leave in and leave out that can change the whole dollar per square foot.
Yeah.
Let's say we're on the subject. Might as well just say it now. When we talk about dollar per square foot, what do we include in there?
Well, 100% of the hard costs.
100% of the hard costs.
Hard costs.
Okay.
Site work, foundation, building, all of that, landscaping, sidewalks, street work, sewers, all of the hard costs we include there, plus a contingency, plus overhead and fee, and sales tax. So when we look at the number we're working on today, what's it cost to construct my project? What am I going to pay a general contractor? That's what we include.
Okay.
Make sure you're only dealing with qualified contractors, as we discussed in video 2. That's critical too.
Critical.
If he's good, he's qualified, then when he's talking these numbers, you're going to be able to rely on them. You want to also, when you get those bids back, it's also very important to sit down with them, go through it, make sure you understand exactly what's included in it, make sure you question them on it, make sure you know that everything you wrote down in your written specifications is included in that number, and if it's not, then get it adjusted.
So once you got final everything like Chris was talking about, you got to get everything in a bit on paper, line item out, okay? Everything, and you sign it, okay? So there ain't no misunderstanding, because this game right here, it takes a long time and you can get frustrated and money go out fast, and someone can say it wasn't on there.
Right.
All right, so now the next thing is, right, we have to now go out there and find comp, because, right, the bank, before they give us the okay on here's the money, okay, we understand this is the budget, okay, but, right, show me comps that support, right, what you guys are doing, okay? So we gotta go out there,
right,
and we gotta go look at comps to see, you know, are there any new construction that's happening right now that is modern? Because we build modern stuff,
yep,
right? We can't use traditional style, modern, and are there comps that roughly the same square footage, right?
Right.
And we also look at older stuff too to give an idea of both. And hopefully we want to find something that's literally within probably 6 months or newer,
right,
meaning just sold recently.
Right.
Anything beyond 6 months, it could be a little old for the bank to look at.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We got to do all this, and we're going to provide comp for the bank, right?
Yeah, and we want to know those ourselves, because they're going to send your project out to an appraiser.
Yep.
They're going to rely on that appraiser to get it right. They're not going to rely on us to get the number, but that appraiser often is going to call us.
Yes, they will.
And they're going to ask us specific details about our project and what we think are other good comps around the area. So we can kind of help with the appraisal by making sure that he's looking at the right comps that support our project.
Yeah.
And that way we know when that number and the valuation gets back to the bank, we know that that valuation is going to be good.
And a lot of time, a lot of these appraisers, you guys, you know, bank use them. These appraisers sometimes will appraise stuff from one part of town to a whole other part of town.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes, you know what? Yes, it's easy to look at comps, but some of these guys, they might not know the difference between a traditional home and a modern house, townhouse.
Right.
So we have to know our product. And like Chris says, there's been many times where we actually have to meet the appraiser out there and show them comp and show them why, so we can educate them also to make sure that these final ARV prices come in a price where we think is fair.
And often they don't really fully understand what's in your product either. And sometimes you might have features or upgrades or views or other elements that make your project maybe a little more valuable than the other ones. So you can point those out to the appraiser, and that will also help your valuation.
All right, so now we'll show the comp. What's the last thing before the bank is gonna give us the green light? Here's the approval, here's your money, let's go.
Yeah, so the last thing we want to do now that we have all this budget information, we want to put it together in a package for the lender.
Yep.
They're gonna want to see how do these break down.
Yeah.
So make sure you classify everything and you show it nice, neat, orderly, so it's easy to understand. You're gonna want to show your breakdown with your hard costs, your soft costs. You're gonna want to show them you have contingency in there, show them the sales tax, the GC fee. You want to show them you have insurance, property taxes, and you're also going to want to show them that, yeah, I also have my points and fees and my interest carry in my line items. So they know, okay, this guy's got everything, and this really is a good number that we can work with. Yeah. I've learned over the years that, you know, being more transparent is better. Yeah. You know, when you start in and you're not really sure, sometimes you get, you know, nervous about showing too much. Yep. But really, if you're organized and you show everything that you've got itemized out, it just adds to your credibility, shows your experience, and it strengthens the relationship. Yeah. And the bank is going to want to see this anyway. Yeah. They are very detailed people. Yeah. So they want to see it. Exactly. So on this project here, again, we're talking about 8 townhomes, 7,200 square foot lot. Yep. We bought this property for $1 million. Yep. $1 million, guy, for a 7,200 square foot lot size. Can you believe it? That's how crazy it is. And then we put in $650,000 in design and permitting costs. A big part of that number in Seattle is the HALA fee, which is you know, housing affordability fee. So that one is really going to be dictated by where you are, what jurisdiction you're in. You may or may not have that. That's a big number. It was over $300,000 alone on this project for that. So we got $1 million in the land, we got $650 into the design and the permitting, and then we also have about $350,000 in for the financing, points, fees, and the interest carry. Yep. And then our hard cost to build this, we are carrying a $3.5 million budget in hard costs. So that total for this project, we're budgeted is 5.5 million.
Yeah. Now, this total project cost us 5.5 million. The amount of cash that we had to put up, it's about $750,000 cash to do this project. Again, Chris, how long is this project taking us?
Yeah, this project, all said and done, is going to be probably about 2.5 years from acquisition to completion.
Yeah. All right, so you see, lots of cash, takes 2.5 years. You are exposed to the market, go up and down. There's a lot of risk, a lot of cash. So again, I don't recommend new investor go and dive into the deep pool, do new construction, if money is tight, because your money, this $750,000, it gets stuck in this deal for 2.5 years until we end up selling this project, okay, or refinancing it, okay. So we're already in this 5.5 million, and Chris, what is our projection? Let's say sales or ARV on this whole thing.
So we're projecting about $6.8 to $7 million in sales on this one.
There you go. So 7 million minus 5.5, the difference is all profit. If someone was brand new listening to this right now and they want to either rehab a house or build an ADU or build a single family or even multi-unit, or even an apartment building, we do all of it. Okay. Out of all 4 videos, which one do you think is the most important video and why?
I think finding the right contractor is going to be the key. You want to spend the time and effort to go through the different steps that we went through on that video on finding the right contractor, because getting a good, organized, professional contractor that can show you and explain to you exactly what you're getting for what price is going to be key. And that comes down to lots of things in life, which is communication. You find the right contractor with good experience, good communication, he's gonna help you the most out of any of those videos. The rest of the stuff, you can work your way through, even if it's your first time. But getting the right contractor that will take care of you when you're not out there physically seeing and watching everything every day, you can trust that he's doing it for you and doing it right and getting it done the way that you want and you agreed. That's invaluable.
To me, that is at the end of the day probably the most important. Once you know how to find somebody good like that, your life is easy. Because if you find the right contractor, your life is easy when you come down to rehabbing a house or build new construction. You find the wrong one, you probably never want to ever mess with real estate ever again. Okay? All right, you guys, I think that's a wrap, all right? I think, hopefully you guys enjoyed this series, all right, what we talked about. We're gonna do more of this in the future. But if you guys like this whole series, right, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up on this video. If you guys have any question about any of the 4 videos we did, comment, let us know what you guys think. Remember, don't forget to subscribe to the video. I appreciate you guys coming watching, right? Subscribe to the video. We want to hit 1 million subscribers, okay, in 2024, all right? But until then, we will see y'all soon. Peace.